Nicole O'Neill once said, "When you find the courage to use your voice, it has the power to positively inspire and change the lives of others. It is one of the special gifts you have to offer the world. It is something to be cherished and championed, never hidden. And that is why we are here on Your Voice, Your Impact. I am the energetic EJ. I am a life and transformational coach, and I work with women aged 40 and above to turn their abandoned dreams into achievable goals by activating their voice for impact. I'm also a podcaster and an event host. On this show with me is
Great, so amazing. The goal of this show is to help people use their voices to create impact. I am a physicist and a life coach. What I do for my clients is I help them build systems to achieve their goals whilst having fun doing it. On this show, we discuss topical issues that can inspire you to move. Like, subscribe, and share. Welcome aboard.
Hello, like, share, subscribe, and welcome on board. Welcome to another episode on Your Voice, Your Impact, where we talk about topical issues to help you activate your voice for impact, but to also remind you that you have a voice and your voice is meant for impact. How are you today? I hope you're fine. Wherever you're watching us from, whether that is on LinkedIn, on Instagram. I'm trying to look at Instagram. I don't know what is going on there. Okay. For some reason, my Instagram is not responding, but I can see that you're there on Instagram. Thank you for joining us. I'll see if it responds so that I can acknowledge you and call your name and say hi to you. But for some reason, I can't see it. If you can, it's weird. Please, yeah, I don't know why, but I can't see what's going on Instagram. But anyways, I can see those on LinkedIn. Thank you for joining. And if you're on YouTube as well, thank you for joining us today. It's another beautiful Monday, and we're excited to be here again on Your Voice, Your Impact, where we talk about, okay, I can see people saying hello. Nationwide TV40, I see you saying hello, but I can't see the screen and know what's going on. But thank you so much. I'll be looking at the comment section. All right. So this is where we talk about topical issues to help you remember that you have a voice, your voice impact, and you can use that voice for impact. And if you're looking for a platform to actually share your story, your expertise, your knowledge, then this is the platform for you. We recently celebrated our first year anniversary in June, and so this is stepping it forward and taking it to another level. So in the next couple of weeks, months, we're going to be introducing, new things to you and getting more value, because we also got some feedback from you, and we are consistently looking out for those feedback. So if you still have a feedback for us, if you're connected from LinkedIn and YouTube, for example, you see the form. There's a form attached to the description of this episode. Please click on that form to give us your candid feedback. You don't have to, we wouldn't know it is you, so you can give your candid feedback and say it as it is, so that we can also look at that objectively and run with it to make the show better for you and to make it more value added. But of course, there are things that are in the works that we're going to introduce to you, or we're going to announce to you as time goes on. I'm going to bring up my co-host right now, and then we'll do a little bit, and then we'll bring up our guests. Today, we're talking about identifying your unique value proposition. Now, when you hear that, you think business right away, but we don't want to look at it just from the angle of business. We want to actually look at it from the angle of people who are in the employment field, right? You're seeking employment, you're looking for a job, and this can apply to you, especially if you're a freelancer. Because as a freelancer, you're always constantly looking for gigs. And it means that people need to experience you. You need to connect with people one-on-one for you to get gigs. How can you put your best foot forward, right? This is what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to bring up Grace so we can just say hello. Hello, Gracie. How are you? How is it today? I love it. You're glowing today. I love your hair. It is just on point.
Let us smile. Let us smile. In the midst of the chaos, let's smile.
I'm
But
telling you.
as part of us being very realistic and authentic, I will tell you that today I am going to be getting my momentum while here, because I was a little low some few minutes ago. But the beautiful thing about your voice, your impact, is when we get on the show, we remember that, look, oh, it's time for impact and you want to come with your A game. But in the midst of it, before I got in here, I was feeling one kind. But I'm sure what I'm going to learn today is going to help me um, get back my groove.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, taking us further in the conversation today, talking about how to identify your unique value proposition, is somebody who I've known over the years. I'm sure about maybe 2 years now, if not more than that. And she's young, but again, I want you to listen to us with an open mind. But I love the work that she does. And if you look at her and look at her track record, you will know that this is a woman going somewhere. She's already happening. You know how they say, oh, you are somebody going somewhere to happen. Mm-mm. She's already happening and she's continually going and she's happening as she goes, right? And I love the way that she has put herself forward and how she's really interested in helping people win. And she's done that for several hundreds of people across board. People that she has helped to rewrite their CVs, people that she has guided to help them put themselves forward in the right way, and they are getting jobs left, right, center in the country, outside of the country. For some people, it's even like their interview to leave the country, and they actually get it after working with her. So she's somebody that is very resourceful. She's also a voiceover artist, and she's also a trainer in that regard. So again, we kind of connect on a couple of grounds, and so it's such a pleasure to have her speak to this topic on how to identify and just not stop at identifying, because she's also a voice person. So she'll also let you know how you can articulate that value, because like we said in the last session with Coach Collins, right? Coach Collins was saying you can have all the value in the world, you can have the best degree, the best certificate, but nobody knows about it, or you don't communicate it with the people that need to know it. You just carry that value and be like that. It will not add value to you, even though you are valuable. So you need to know how to articulate the value in such a way that you're able to exchange it and get to the place that you want to get to. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up on stage our guest today, Ekomobong Offong. I call her Ekom. Okay. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Coach EJ. Hello, Grace. It's so good to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
You
Thank you,
are
thank you,
welcome. How
thank
are
you.
you
You're
doing today?
welcome.
This one, you look like a
Yeah.
professor today. It's like you're putting on your professor goggle.
I'm doing very good, and you both look very beautiful, honestly. Very,
Thank you.
very. And Coach EJ, please don't remind me where I came from with my low cut, but then I refuse to be distracted and
You
focused.
can return or you can come
No,
back.
no, no, no. Thank you so much for
All
having
right,
me.
so
Thank you.
good to have you here. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
So today,
Thank you.
I know that one of the things that you are known for specifically, especially on LinkedIn, like guys, for just FYI, Ekom here has built her brand so much on LinkedIn. She has over 30,000 followers on LinkedIn, and she's constantly helping people revamp their CVs, anything that has to do with interview, basically. Because I've seen some of your testimonials. Is somebody applying for one grant somewhere, or somebody applying to get one visa somewhere, and you help them with how to position themselves for the interview, and then they get in on the job,
Yeah.
on the relocation and all of that. So, just give us a little bit of background on how you got to this point. Like, what was that thing that actually pushed you to focus on even preparing CVs for people? What's your story?
Oh, wow. Thank you very, very much. About 3 years ago, 2021 precisely, I had this LinkedIn account since 2017, and that was when I was serving. I actually got it uh, as a free gift I went for a seminar, still something like this, a job career seminar and all of that. So the host or the coordinator asked the question, and he said, anybody that gets this question, just somewhere randomly in the midst of the seminar, would have a free LinkedIn account open for them and the profile optimized. I was hearing about LinkedIn for the first time ever. And because of the nature of the seminar, all we're told is, the seminar is going to help you with getting jobs, getting jobs, getting jobs. The emphasis was so much on getting jobs. And here I was in my NYC, the only experience I had was my PPA where I was teaching mathematics and physics. And then, so somehow I just randomly answered the question. I was interested in getting the LinkedIn account because me, so most times in events like that, I don't say anything. Even if I know the answer, I just, I'll just be low key. So, but somehow I was just interested in that LinkedIn, like, yeah, okay, what's this LinkedIn thing? And I want to get it. So I answered the question, and then he set up right there, opened a LinkedIn account for me. There was no even profile picture, set up my name, just put in my um NYSC experience, and that was the only thing there. So I looked at it, I think everybody has that story that comes on LinkedIn for the first time. You're like, what was this? So why people are pressing? I beg, I beg. So, and after that, I completely forgot about it. I didn't do anything up until 3 years ago. Yeah, 2021. So I was working a full-time job, and one of the days I felt very ill, if there's a word for the illest I've ever been in my life. I
Mm.
was completely immobile. I was lying down throughout this day. I only stood up to bath, take my medications, which was even still on the bed, and of course, eat my food. Dad was literally babysitting me. I was taking my medications, of course. And so I didn't go to work for that whole week. And I was so active at my workplace that it affected a lot of things. But there was little I could do. So in that week, I think it was around this period. So June, July, yes, it was. It was around June, I remember. A friend reached out to me and, he said, so what do you do in your spare time? I think that question should have, what do you do every day? Because every day was my
It was
spare
your spare
time.
time.
So I said, I go on YouTube, watch some videos, educational content, and all. So he said, you had a LinkedIn account one time. Why not, spend the time going back there? So I said, okay, just casually. And then I had to install the application again, only to find that I had grown massively to 57 followers. I was so proud.
Oh my God. So it's a massive, you're not the expressor. What magic happened?
Yeah, and then so I came in with one goal. I needed to just learn how to write. I had discipline for professionals. So I said, okay, let me see how professionals are writing and also write like a professional. And in the course of learning, I began to encounter different people, connect to people in their DMs, see that a major cry at that time, a lot of things have happened with LinkedIn, but at that time, my feeds was all filled with job posts, people looking for jobs, and then there were all these scammers who just say, comment interested, and we'll check your profile. All manner of things were happening, and then people were complaining a lot about applying for jobs and getting ghosted or their CVs not being okay. It just kept happening. I didn't have any intention of coming to LinkedIn to write CVs for anybody. It was not there at all. But there was one thing I know that I have always desired, and that is to help people. I believe so much in people. I don't know how that happened, but it's just an inner thing that you can be anything you want to be. I've seen people do great things. So every time I look at a person, I'm like, no, I've seen another human who is just like you doing amazing things. So you have it. You only do not have that ability to express it, efficiently in a way that is attracting. So over time, and then randomly, someone just reached out to me in my DM and said he wants me to help him write CVs. I've never talked anything about that, but he just said, "Can you write CV? I need your help." I'm like, okay. And I remember at that time, I didn't even have a laptop. My laptop was bad, so I had to go to a neighbor's place and sweated out that TV. I didn't even know how to describe. It was not a good experience because I didn't have the skill. I didn't know how to go about, but I just knew that I wanted to help this person do
Mm,
this, and then I spent hours in that neighbor's place. It was like a cyber cafe, so I used his laptop and I spent hours, no exaggeration, literally from morning to almost evening before I could pull that together. And he was really impressed. And then he paid me 1,000 naira.
wow.
Yeah, he actually sent it as data. He just sent me airtime worth that amount. I'm like, oh, thank you. I didn't mind. So after that experience, I thought about it. I'm like, how many more people are in this shoe struggling like this? By the time the guy listed out his experience and all the things he could do, I was so amazed. And I began to study, I began to observe. I didn't actively go into learning CV writing immediately, but I just kept observing that trend on LinkedIn. I followed HRs, people in the recruitment, and they just kept complaining. They kept emphasizing CVs, job applicants, this and that. And the whole thing about, okay, a recruiter just has to spend 7 seconds on your CV to decide. I just kept seeing that over and over and over and over again on my feed. And then I decided that, okay, let's do something about this. Let's be in a position to offer this help to people. And from nowhere, I just branded my bio CV writer. Of course, I was already doing a bit of voiceover here and there, but I didn't even know that what I was doing was voiceover. But I just did that. I was helping people, promote their businesses. I saw that first when I went for service. There was this couple in church. What they were doing then was they'll go to different big organizations, then um organizations, eateries like Chicken Republic, banks, different places. So they'll go and meet the management of these places and then see that they wanted to advertise for them. They didn't even do anything much. They only added the voiceover and then the flyer of the organization as a video, and that was it. So I caught that idea then, but I didn't
Mm,
really do so much. I didn't know the name was voiceover. So following up on LinkedIn, seeing a lot of stuff, learning, like I said, which was basically what I came to do and observe. So I ended up branding as a CV writer and a voiceover artist. So going back to my story about the CV, I just saw that a lot of people, particularly even people on LinkedIn, you see somebody's profile, job experience, this and that, a lot of things, but you can even see their post, and you're like, are these the same people who are writing these things? So there's a lot of disparity between
disparity
what
between the
people, yeah,
profile and what they are
exactly.
posting. Like,
Exactly. And then so I just started branding myself as a CV writer, and I started writing posts, little tips I could find, little help here and there. And then people just started reaching out, and I when I get on conversations with them, I say, okay, tell me about your job experience, tell me about yourself. You just hear a lot of things. Oh, I've worked here, I've worked here, I've worked here. And you look at the CV, I have this experience, and you're like, hey, what is this? And then they keep complaining about not getting jobs, getting ghosted, this and this and that. And I knew that this was a major problem. And then I had to step in. One of the first things that I do when I get to, um, work with clients, particularly in their series, is I just let them talk.
mm,
Because sometimes some people feel like, for example, if somebody has a CV, he worked in, let's say, Apple as a data analyst. So you just have data analyst Apple 2017 to present or something like that. And then the job description or the job responsibilities look very, very shabby, very shallow, very, you see things like any other duties assigned by the management. I'm like,
what's
hey,
that?
what? Like,
Like, go and wash cloth. I will
are
go and
you,
wash plates.
Go and buy
you know,
me granuts.
Good.
exactly. And I'm like, you can't compete this way with people who know what they're doing. So I also began to study job responsibilities because some of these people, there was nothing else they could do. That was the best they could write. So I started to study, data analysts. What are the particular job responsibilities? And then when I asked them, I found out that they actually did that
The
professional side
job.
of
So
it.
they
But
actually know the
exactly,
job, but they don't know how to
exactly.
communicate it.
Perfect. Perfect. That's just the word. So I knew that okay, I couldn't just work only with clients who know what they're doing but don't know how to express. I had to work with people who don't even have an idea what to write, but they know they did the job. They literally spent 6 years in this place working. So you can't
Mm,
just tell me that you did any other thing aside. That I hate to see that line anywhere, So um it led me to studying different job roles, different responsibilities. I remember putting out on my status one time that writing a software engineer CV is like learning coding. It was, I mean, you
mm.
just hear all manner of jargons, tech
ICCP,
jargons, this one.
MPIP,
I'm like,
CRAQ.
I'm like, who said me? But then it's been an interesting journey, transitioning, not
Journey.
just yeah, not just revamping their CVs, but people just come back. I remember one of the early testimonies I got was somebody said, your magic hands touched my CV and then I got a job. I was like,
Wow.
and then over time I felt like, okay, so we can advance beyond just helping people get jobs. Recently, I think 2 days ago, I just delivered a project for a client. She's applying for permanent residency in the US as a nurse. So that one was also another revelation entirely, that people really are I read through, she did a draft and I read through it and I was like, wow, this is a lot of experience. This is actually what is required in these countries. But that ability to give expression
To it.
professionally. I mean, speak like, if you don't hire me, you are going to lose. Any other person you are hiring,
Mm,
you are going to miss me. That's literally the way to present yourself as a job seeker or
absolutely.
any of this role. So that's basically
I love
been the
it.
journey so far, and it's
I
been
love it.
amazing.
I love it. And I allowed you, to just share that story so we know where you're coming from and we can
Mhm.
see the journey that you've been on and the experiences that has led you to this place where you've noticed the problem, you kind of
Yeah,
have an idea of the solution and you've applied it and refined it over time, to now even expand it into other areas. Like, okay, you started
areas.
with
Yeah,
just CV. Now it's almost like interviews, basically. So
yeah,
if somebody
yeah,
wants to go for a grant now and they probably reach out to you, that could be another level to it. But basically, the core of what you do is helping people communicate the value that they have or the experience that they have. And for me,
absolutely.
I just feel like when you say your unique value proposition, it is that thing that stands you out in just everyday conversation. I know that there is business, what's it called, definition for it. But for me, the way I'm looking at it is the way you communicate your value, the way, like you said now when we're talking about even the CV and everything, you've done the job, you've had the experience, but how do you tell the next person that, see, this is what I know this much and I'm the right person for this thing, or I'm the right person you need to get on this gig with and things like that, and I think that's where the angle that I'm coming from. But I would leave it for Grace to ask a follow-up question around, the topic, which is the value proposition, and that. Yeah, Grace, over to you.
Alrighty, thank you so much. I mean, you have a very wonderful voice, and
Thank you.
you'd also be a wonderful storyteller. And I don't know, I was just enjoying listening to you. I mean, and my own gift is when I say that there's somebody, this place is good for you, that place is good for you. I can literally sit down and listen to you talk. And I don't know if it's something that's telling me to tell you that. Of course, I'm sure you're already doing that. You're doing something already in that space. But I just needed to drop it. I'm just curious. When you talked about teaching mathematics, I was like, okay, so what's your background?
You now got physics.
Ah,
When she said physics, I just think your eye go lit up. Say,
No, now
ah.
maths she talk. Now maths. Now she talk the maths. My eye too do like this now because maths and physics they be cousins. So what did you study?
Okay, first degree, I did genetics and biotechnology. For my master's, I did environmental toxicology and pollution management, and currently doing an MBA in sustainability.
Gone,
Oh
gone.
my
Huh. This is where I
God.
will. And intelligence is clear. I don't know. I'm saying this because you are beyond your certificates and all of that.
Yeah.
I just asked you to find out something because you're a problem solver. In your conversation, I could just hear this girl is a problem solver. And the second thing I picked from what you were saying was you sat down for a while and somebody gave you 1,000 naira stuff, and that particular thing you did changed your career line. I'm saying
Yeah.
this so that some people will catch something. And there's something I want people listening to this to catch. You saw a problem, you identified it, you did the work, it was hard. And there's something, me and Ejiro, there's something we're working on. And Ejiro told me something. I was like, no, I got do one. Wait, make I see. And I am seeing pepper.com. That one is story for another day. But what I'm actually discovering while doing that thing is sweet to even find out that, oh, so this thing is possible. Why am I saying all of this? I'm saying this because there's somebody watching this right now, probably looking to say that I don't have this skill, I don't have this value, I don't have this, I don't have that. Ekomobong discovered her value, discovered a skill while she was on a journey to help. She wanted to help someone. So I just,
Yeah.
you see that all these things are tweetable. So I'm just dropping it so that if it concerns you, catch it and run with it. Now to the question I want to ask you. I usually hire people for organizations and I get to speak to them. For me, if you like, let your CV be beautiful, handsome, and whatever. I don't care. Talk to me. Let me hear the content. Let me know what you're about. So that's the first stage. So not to sideline what you said. When your CV is beautiful, I used to call people with beautiful CVs, and then the next thing is let's hear what you've got. How are you able to marry for someone that's going to get a job? The first stage is to help them with their CVs. But do you have what you're able to help them with to help them understand that, okay, this CV is beautiful. This you have to also do this so that you can marry what you have on your CV and what you get to say when you're called upon to be interviewed. Did you get the question?
Sure, sure I did. Sure I did. Okay. That that aspect of the would I call it the problem or a challenge also led me to write a book, Get Employed Like a CEO. And the theme of that book is just what you're saying. The first thing I let people understand is your mindset matters a lot. I always tell people unapologetically, no organization is doing you a favor by hiring you. That's my own personal
I
my
agree.
person
We're
I
exchanging
don't care how
values.
much the job is. I don't care how much what benefits are. If you like you fly me to Dubai every day, if you didn't need my value, you're not going to create that vacuum for that position. So I always tell people the
Beautiful.
first thing is you are the CEO of your own life. You are valuable. Don't see that, oh, I need a job, oh, please come and pay me. My bills are piling up. Dollar is now on 5. Everything is expensive. Please, I need to. pay my children's schools and all of that. As emotional as that sounds, the fact remains that you are valuable. If you don't see that about yourself, you're going to be settling for anything. And so I've had
Mm,
people come to me in my DMs on LinkedIn, oh, I need a job, I need a job. Next question, what kind of job can you do? And
anything.
the answer is anything. Like, what is
Ah, I hate that
anything?
anything thing. Immediately you say anything, I'm out of
Yeah, I'm out.
okay, leave me alone. Go and be looking for any
Anything.
work.
Seriously. And one of the things I'm also intentional about building about myself is I like to be the guy's person. What I mean is, if you need a software engineer now, I have somebody in my head, in my circle that immediately pops up. If you need a painter now, I have someone that immediately pops up. If you need a boat driver, I have someone that immediately pops up in my head. So that's the kind of community I like to build around. So if you tell me that you are doing anything, you're going to be the last. You are not even going to be on my mind
On the
when such
radar.
opportunities come up. You know, I've had to recommend people for roles that I've never worked with them before, but I recommended them with my full chest because they consistently branded as a particular problem solver. Somebody's consistently branding as a copywriter. I've not worked with them on any project before, but I've observed their, personal brand over time. They consistently talk about copywriting. They consistently show results that they've achieved for clients. So when a copywriter comes to mind, automatically that's the name that pops up in my head. So I can only do a few checks and say, okay, how's this person apart from just his work or her work? How are their values and all of that? And that's how people get recommended. I've never worked with them. So in the line of balancing both ends between what is on your CV and what you actually can see. Another point I like to emphasize is a good CV, no matter how excellently written, is not an automatic visa for a job. We
True.
will do our own part of presenting you well, but what that does is that it gets you it gives
A
you a
level.
higher chance, yes, of
On the
getting
table.
invited for an interview. So
Right.
somebody sent me a feedback. He said your CV gave me an interview and I smashed it. That was just the highlight
Mm,
for me. He said 3 white guys interviewed me, and the next 2 weeks he was already resuming work. So that part of I smashed it is not
it can't
entirely my
be you.
responsibility
It's
anymore.
not
It's
you.
not, yes. So my own is present your CV in such a way that they're like, oh, wow, we need to hire this guy. Because I've also had the experience working back end. So when I write CVs, I don't just write as somebody on the front end. I write also as somebody who is also recruiting. We've had to interview. I've worked with a firm, to a brand actually, to interview candidates for a particular role, and we know what we look out for when we look at the person's CV. The whole 7 6 seconds is not a scam. It's actually real. There's no time. There are many people who are applying. In fact, in one
Mm.
of the roles, we said that anybody that doesn't have attach a cover letter to his application is
You're
automatically
already out.
disqualified. We don't even
Wow.
have the time to open the CV to look at it. No time. So we just had to look for parameters that we could screen people off. So I always tell people that this CV I'm writing for you is not automatic, but there's a high chance, there's a high guarantee that you're going to get an invite for an interview. Now, whatever you go and do there
It's up to you.
is
If you like,
definitely
right?
up
I
to
am an
you.
excellent blah blah blah. And then
That writing, you can work under pressure. That one is your own. But
Honestly, I can't work on that pressure.
work under
I was
pressure.
thinking about this thing 2 days ago, a few days ago. Say, wait, so even if I apply for job now, I will not go and write in my CV that I can work on that. That's a big lie, sir. I cannot work under pressure. I
Seriously,
don't like
in this
pressure.
country like this, you want
I was
to
see,
add work under
I
pressure.
was
Oh
yes,
no.
so I was even teasing somebody that was working. So I gave her something to do, and she was like, excuse me, ma. I said, are you forgotten? I can work under pressure. Are you serious? This is the pressure we're talking about. I said, man, no, Joe, I don't want to.
You're going too much.
It's interesting. See, I have like 1 billion questions to ask you because yes, I'm sorry, Ejiro, I'm going to collect this next question again
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
from you, and
Before you
it's
go
because
ahead,
I
quickly,
I
hold on,
I
just one
I'm
minute.
I'm
Gracie,
coming
just
from a
1 minute.
place.
Can you hear me?
Okay,
No,
okay.
I just say before you go on, let me just acknowledge the people
Acknowledge.
on
Okay.
Instagram, because there are a couple of people on Instagram and they're actually engaging. I see you, Shoma. I see you, Scott Unlimited. Scott say, please keep the pressure far away, please. So thank you for joining us. I think there are people on LinkedIn as well, but they're not commenting yet. So go ahead. I just there to acknowledge them. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much, our friends, for watching. Please call those people in your community that will come and meet you every time. I've been submitting CVs. They are not calling me. This is the time you should quickly send this video to them to come and learn. And the next question I have is, beyond CV. Again, beyond CVs, it's similar to what I asked earlier. I hear a lot of people, I've been submitting, I've been this, I've been that. And then the problem of I can do anything. And I've come to realize that the problem is they do not know how to verbalize, which is the topic we have today. I sent a message on a group where I wrote, what can you do? Even if you can drive, put I am a driver. I am a cook. If you can cook very well, put I am a cook. So it was just me trying to engage the people in that community to help them zoom in on their skills, what they probably don't take seriously, and say, I don't know. How are you able to help people understand some of the skills that they have that they never knew could fetch them money? Because what you have now, maybe like 10 years ago, if they told you you'd make money from helping people write CV, you'd be like, eh. Because you identified yourself as a writer, probably, yeah. So I want you to touch on that. Help people that are watching this right now. They're confused, they don't know. Meanwhile, they have some skills, some soft skills that could fetch them. How are they able to bring it to light beyond just putting it as a bullet point? But I can do enough. Help us expatiate on that. Thank you.
All right. Recently, a one of my voiceover students reached out to me, and then he said, "Coach, I can do a lot of things. I can do this, I can do that, but I'm confused which of them to focus on." And we just ran a little reality check, and I said, "Let's assume that somebody gives you 100,000 naira, and the person says, I want you to use this money to only pay for a skill, to learn a skill.
Hmm.
You're not going to use money for any other thing. No other thing. Yeah, this money is nothing else. Just identify the skill you want to learn or you want to improve on out of the many things that you already have. And then I'm going to pay this 100,000 naira for you." And I said, which of these would you gladly want that 100K to be spent on? And then it was really like a boom, like, oh, okay, i would I would prefer this to hone my skill on. Now that's on one side. For some people that still doesn't do the provide the answer to them. Now the second thing is, I feel like for us in this part of the country, in this part of the world rather, there's a how do I put it? There's a decline in that ability to hold on until a skill produces results. So when people are saying, I don't know which skill to do, they are simply saying, I don't know, I want the one that will by
Now
tomorrow
we
morning
pay.
No, no,
I've
no,
hit
no.
6 figures, I've hit 7 figures. And I'm wondering. So now, just recently, I think like 2 episodes of my podcast or so, I talked about, I did an analogy with the woman that, was it Elisha? Yes, met with the oil. She didn't go and
Oil.
say, oh, okay, how many oils do I need to pour in? She didn't ask too many questions. How many jars do I need to gather? How long do I need to pour? How many liters do I need to generate before I start having money? That's basically our question every day now. You present an opportunity to somebody, how soon can I start making money? How soon can I start making 6 figures? You see 6 figures online, forgetting that 100K is 6 figures. 1 million is 7 figures. It doesn't have to be 900K or so, So it's second thing I let people understand is you that ability to zero in ultimately depends on you. Also recent, sorry, I have to use a lot of examples because that's the way I can just be relatable. One of my students also reached out to me. She can do this, she can do POS, she can do e-commerce, she can do Facebook ads, she can do voiceover, she can do and she was really concerned. We spoke for almost an hour. Like she didn't know which of these skills to zero in on. And her own concern was she wanted to teach people how to do this. So I now asked her a question. I said, okay, e-commerce, have you been successful with, ordering and shipping any of these on any item at all? She said she only helped somebody to do it once. I said, so that's out of the way. Second question, have you been successful with running Facebook ads for anybody with somebody's money and actually got results? She said she only did it for herself and then she not to generate leads but just to drive traffic. And I said, so how
Awareness.
do you want to teach people without results? So that's out of the way. Next question, she also does CAC registration, for businesses. Have you been able to help anybody register a successful business? Not yet. So sometimes we are just the ones cumbering ourselves with so many unnecessary things. And the reason we are doing that is because we come online on social media and see people
And
getting
see,
results with a thing. And so we
we
feel
jump
like,
on it.
oh, I have to be here. No, you have to be willing, that willingness to stay until you
Stay.
get results. Sometimes it might just be something irrelevant. So nobody's really going to give you a casting stone answer that, oh, this is what you're to do, because what is raining today. Yeah, one of the things she said she knows how to do was to open PayPal account. And I said, in all honesty, all those apologies, but all those shakara that PayPal was doing then, that you cannot receive money to open PayPal account, is almost like, yeah,
Jump.
admission to go into
Even
heaven. Heaven is not
camping.
even that hard. So there are lots and lots of apps that have come in now, and you can just receive your money easily. So all those PayPal thing, to me, I give an honest response. It's not really a thing that you should put in your face and insist that you do. So in response to your question, I would say that anyone who is listening now and who is just stuck in that place of how do I make money, or out of my skill, the first thing I'll let you to the first thing I'll advise that you take out of your mind is that immediate sharp thing. It's Yes, there's some things that you can just happen, and by chance you probably get in contact with a gig or a connect, or somebody just introduces you to an opportunity and you just blow up. That shouldn't be the template. You shouldn't go and now start say, oh, how I made 9 figures in 2 days. Calm down. Your opportunities and the things that you are presented with may not be
Not
some other
repeatable.
person's. You could
Yeah.
have learned faster. Some other people learn and implement very, very slowly.
Slow.
So I would say that you should shut down on distractions. If you look within, you get a pen, get a paper, write the things that you can do. Forget about whether they look profitable or not. Just write the things that you know that you can do. And then there's this wave of, a 9 to 5 is a prison, salary is the money they pay you to forget your dreams.
You
And I'm
forget your
like, person
dream.
go forget dream, go still forget them. Let's say I forget dream, go still forget her. So don't hinge laziness and unproductivity because you have a 9 to 5 job. There's nothing like that. So the truth is, there are some people that a 9 to 5 is where their success lies. There's
Yes.
nothing you can do about it. There's no need to try to feign online business. Some of these people who claim to have a successful online business, if you engage them on one, you'll be so disappointed. You'll be
Honestly.
They
so
are crying.
disappointed. Like
I can't tell
zero
you.
skills, they
Premium
can't work with
tears.
a team, or like nothing. So life is not just about making money, but it's about making impact. Some
Hey,
people
Right.
would
there you go. Hey,
successfully
there you go. Please, 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 please
He
help
said,
us
say
all
it
repeat
again.
that again. because right now this is where we say on the show, your voice is your impact. And right
Impact.
now,
You
Absolutely.
on
Ekomobong
periods.
is creating impact. Go on, baby girl. Go
Oh
on,
my
go on.
God. Yeah, so again, life is not about making money, but about making impact. So don't just say, oh, I want to make 7 figures. Your destiny might truly lie in just working in a corporate organization and building it. I was saying recently that you hear Dangote, you hear this, oh, Dangote is a businessman. There are key people in that organization that if they resign today,
You
the
go
Dangote
crash.
you won't even want to
Crash.
mention his name. So these people are finding their fulfillment. They may not be on the front page. Everybody wants to be influencer, everybody wants to be on social media, everybody wants to be this and that. But there are some people who are fanning the flame for these people that you
I
celebrate
see.
online. So find your place. I think that's even where a lot of people are just no, I'll resign from my job. This person that resigned it, and then somebody even saying things like
Ebiakpa.
what are these people's name? Mark Zuckerberg or so they are dropouts, blah blah blah.
Hunger go
Even
fire
think
you. Please let me quickly say something. I like that thing that you just said because they'll say they are dropout, this, that. You don't
But did
know
they
that
even know the school
what
they
they
drop
have.
out from? The
Minus the
person they
that's
drop
school.
out from Harvard.
No, minus the school. What they have. What they
Mm,
have. You know, you don't
mm.
have anything, you don't have any skill or
Like
anything, and then you now go and drop out. And then Ebiakpa. You know all these things. We need to be dropping it one. Thank you.
seriously,
Sorry,
and then
continue,
even
my
when
dear.
they drop out, they're dropouts, but they don't hire dropouts. The engineers that work with them are not dropouts.
Mm,
Like first class engineers.
mm, mm. You see that one talk, that one enter. Now
Energetic, release me, Moti Gumpa. Please release me.
that
Tell me release. Unfreeze. Say unfreeze. Please, just say it.
on freeze, on freeze, on freeze.
He enter. That one enter.
Oh wait, let me give you this feedback from Instagram. Wait, let me read this. I have to. Shama says, Ekomobong, this woman isn't just intelligent, she's wise. There are not too many wise people out there. Oh, that is such a
Oh,
beautiful
thank
feedback.
you. Thank you so
We
much.
bring
Thank
only the
you.
best here.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much,
Honestly.
Chama. We only bring the best here. Thank you. We
Thank
love
you.
you for following up.
Oh, they
Thank
said they
you.
love you already. Somebody, Annie,
Ah,
spoke already.
I love you too. Thank you so
And
much.
his
Thank
house
you.
is just dropping the bomb so casually, so
I say very
smallly.
softly,
Just be dropping
softly.
the gun,
It
gun,
just they
gun.
like.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you
Go on.
so much. Thank you. Thank you. So in wrapping up that question, I would say, where are you? What is the basis for your in quote passion to make money? Is it what you see online, or have you really thought deeply? Is your
Mm,
place a 9 to 5? Don't feel bad. Don't compare your life to anybody. Some people, their place is
Mm,
9 to 5. There's nothing you can do. You may make money, but along the line, you still find that vacuum. There are some people
yes,
who work at Facebook today that if they lose their jobs, they can almost commit suicide because there's so much fulfillment. They are not known. The people we celebrate are on the internet. Those people, that's their place. So for someone who is listening to me, I would say think again. Don't be in a hurry. Don't follow what you're seeing on social media. When I started writing
mm,
CVs, it was not a thing. It was not like what was there. But the main goal was to solve a problem, to help people. And I've had opportunities to work with people that wow, I can't even start talking about. So find your place. I still work as with an organization. I'm still an employee. So it's not like, oh, I'm just doing writing CV and leave us while flexing. I still answer to people as an employee. I'm still part of a team. So find your place. And if you really insist that yours is selling a skill or making money out of something, then zero in on your innate abilities. sometimes also you may not necessarily mean it may not necessarily have to be something that is innate, because CV writing for me was not innate, but it was a hard work to learn it. Sometimes you may not be something that you are passionate about, but you see that this is a vacuum and you really have that desire to solve that problem, then you have to really to put in the work that is required to solve that problem. So there's really no one size fits all answer. Find yourself, be patient enough to find yourself, and when you start doing it, be patient to see results. Don't just say, oh, I did this one for 2 weeks, it didn't work. The next, they now tell you it's affiliate marketing,
On to the
boom, you have
next.
moved. They now tell you that no, it's crypto airdrop. You have, yeah, let's not go there. That table is only
You
one
have
leg. It's
dropped
moving.
everywhere.
That's only one leg. That table is just one leg remaining. So let me stop there. Let me stop there.
Now the one
Thank
that is
you.
raining now is Google review. You say it's that one
Like,
sharp sharp. You can make 50,000 naira in a day. Go ahead, be doing review. Be training yourself and your brain to be learning products you have not
exactly.
used before. I don't understand how people think these days just
Then
because of money. Like why?
you
It's
leave such
fast
people
lane.
2 months later. There's no, you can't even engage them in conversation. They say, okay, come and work in this organization. You finally get a job, and they're so scattered. There's no soft skills, communication, collaboration. They're only used to, I work with clients, I collect money. I work with clients, I collect money. Now you're so wealthy, and you get into a corporate space, and you just scatter the whole system for them. So please, we need to be very careful.
Not to that boru.
Like,
Who come here? Everything they okay until this person come here. They say, Egbani, who did we bring in? you know,
Oh my
I
goodness.
love. Oh my God, I am definitely connecting with you after this because where me I used to get my own dopamine is having beautiful conversations, and that's why
Conversation. Like
catch
it
yeah,
me.
yeah,
You catch me
sweet.
in things like this because I learn a lot from conversations like this. And what you said, that part that you said that 9 to 5 may be where
mm,
you might shine.
yeah,
It
yeah.
happened to a colleague, a friend, that he had a very good skill. He was smart, he was intelligent, and then he went boom, entrepreneur. Even with his intelligence, he was making money, but he
Mm,
wasn't. There was no fulfillment because he didn't
yeah,
know how
yeah,
to, put
yeah.
things together. There are other skills that would help you become an
Exactly,
entrepreneur. So even if the
exactly.
plan is for you to be an entrepreneur, it's always good to go to a system where you learn how things are
Absolutely,
done. By the
Yes.
absolutely,
time you
absolutely.
learn, you work for a period. In fact, something I've realized in recent times is it's beginning to make sense. You know that thing that they used to say, experience, experience. We used
Mm,
to be
mm.
angry with people that if you don't give them the opportunity, why would
How will they
they
experience it?
Exactly,
give them
exactly,
now? But now I
exactly,
understand why people
exactly.
look for
Yes,
experience. They don't want to start.
yes.
See, they are
At
losing
all,
money trying to
at
carry
all.
you and teach you all the dirty, so
Exactly.
it will be better for them if you
Yeah,
have worked in a particular place. Again,
sure.
talking about jumping in and jumping out because it's not working and all of that. Let's not even talk about that one because I know 1 billion people in my head that, I have done this. How long? 3 weeks. 3
3 weeks.
weeks. 3 weeks. And you're
It's
out.
not their fault that their
Hello.
coach told them that it's 7 figure in 2 days. It's not
Oh,
their
Well,
fault.
well, that's true.
but this thing we're talking like this that we're laughing about is something that people are struggling with and is beginning
Yeah,
to affect them
yeah,
in affecting their lives.
sure.
Yes.
I was coaching someone and the person she had already left the place of what would I call it now? It was a case of depression now because she
Okay.
had tried too many things and she was already giving up. What I realized
Wow.
was a pattern was she struggled with dedication,
Consistency.
Mm,
consistency,
mm,
Commitment.
commitment. I think that's the word, commitment. And from your story, you didn't have to mention it. When you're even
Because
saying that innate ability that you have is not the CV, that's the skill. But the
mm,
ability that
mm,
you have on
mm.
the inside that got you this was committing to
Commitment.
something for a
Mm,
period.
mm.
it's an ability some people don't have.
Until you get
They'll be like,
results.
until you get it, that's the innate ability that you have that got you this. Some people can't wait. So say, I don't get time, I don't get that time, and before you know it, they're out. So I mean, this I'm going to watch this again because I know that there are things that
There's a
I will
lot
learn.
to
There's
unpack.
a lot to learn from this. Over to you, energetic. If you leave me, I go engage
Thank
this
you.
babe. You know, say me, I get question. My questions in full bucket. So let me just
No, but honestly, this has been a very fantastic conversation, if we do say so ourselves. And I say thank you, Ekom. You know, when I reached out to you, I told you this is the words I used for her. I said the Lord would have you come on the voice, your
When I saw
impact.
it, I was like, could TJ which will come
Because
with this
it
one
was the way it happened. You know, Grace, you know, we had done our plan for the month, and I was thinking, and it was almost like I was in a state of meditation. And then I picked up my phone, I checked LinkedIn, and her picture was what I saw. But that was like, okay, nothing. But for the I see her post and all of that, I engage. But this was just like I saw the picture, I was like, okay, click. I checked her profile, and then I went to her posts and I started looking at her posts. And then the first one I saw after was a testimonial of something she did for somebody that gave a testimonial that I think he got something outside of Nigeria or something, like an interview, and then the person got invited to travel out of the country. I'm like, I know this lady does CV. How come we can't reach this place? And then it just clicked like value proposition. There is no way you are tapping into some opportunities if you don't propose your value correctly. Without even being vulnerable, for example. I know it is a skill that I still need to perfect personally. Because I'm one of those people that can do a couple of things, but not all of them am I able to communicate properly in a way that will make, just like you said, like say, if you don't hire me, you are the one that is losing now. So I'm not begging you. I know I can do this thing, and I know you need it. So if you can't see it, well, that's your cup of tea. Do you see? It is a skill. And so all of those things played in my head, and I just messaged her like, girl, the Lord needs you here because this is not coincidence. And this is the proof for me. All right. So you being here today, having this conversation with us, carrying it the way you did, because again, if anybody listens and you did not see at every point that she's dropping that you have to articulate your value, please watch again. Watch the replay so that you can hear it in everything she said and everything we've said here today. All right, so that you put your best foot forward, and not just about writing it, because that's also a thing now with social media, especially. Go and look at our profiles. You see all this gangatious English. I help this one do that one, that one. Oh yeah, now. Oh yeah, come my help now.
Don't go there. Don't go there. That help part. Don't go
Do
there.
you get?
Everybody's helping.
and you now do face like
I was like,
Honestly, it bothers me. It bothers me. I know
Coach
that, you
Mom
know.
said I should.
So we need, and I love when you ask that question, Grace. We need to marry the two. It is good to articulate it in words, but please do the work that would make it corroborate in action. And that is where the staying power is needed. Because it's good. You know, Grace, I will say, it's what you want to see that you will say, not what is.
Absolutely.
Do you get? So the way to now connect the two so that it don't look like a lie to yourself is to put in the work to ensure that that thing you have professed, you have confessed about yourself, you are going to get there.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of your value proposition. So we know you have value. You know, if they ask you what are your top 5 values, say transparency, integrity. Oh yeah, now I'm going to ask one question now, right?
Fill a form. In fact, people don't want to put the work. I'm still the person is still there waiting for me to respond to the person. You know that our 1-year workshop that we did. The person they sent me the link. I sent something. Form. Yes, I say fill this form, and then when you fill it, you're in. The person did not fill it. The person looked at it and kept it. And I said that these same people would be saying that I need this, I need that. Just to
Yeah.
They are
I had
giving
to
to
tell
you like a
myself,
platter of gold,
my
but
dear,
a little bit of work. Alas,
if
you
they
no
had you.
one do.
Exactly.
Let me confess. I used to be guilty of running away from filling forms. So I asked myself critical questions recently that there are some things that I said I wanted and I've not gotten those things. And I asked myself, why did I not get those particular things? And I
Mm,
realized that
mm,
the process is too much for me. And then
mm,
it
mm.
dawned on me that you see the reason why you're saying the process is too long for you is because that thing is not yet on your priority list. The day the thing will be
Exactly.
on your priority, you will
Exactly.
sit down, on
You will do
fan,
it.
on light, on everything and finish it. If they should tell you that you win 1 billion naira
Honestly.
today,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
form they
Yeah.
will give you is from here
Yeah.
to Jalingo, you will not feel it. No, you will not feel it. I'll come and feel it for you.
Give me extra
I'll feel
shit.
it for you. Please let me quickly say something. Some people are working now, they are making money, and
Mm,
they've forgotten, because it happened to me too at some point. They've forgotten that writing CV, do I need to
mm,
write CV? I have a
mm,
well-paying
mm,
job, I'm doing
mm,
well.
mm, mm,
This my period, let me be writing CV.
mm,
What's that?
mm,
My experience to show for my experience to
mm,
talk about it. Until I went for an interview one time, somebody recommended me for a job, so even the CV was one old rugged CV, because I honestly, to be all the jobs I got, it was based on recommendation, so I
yeah.
didn't have
Yeah.
there was no need
Yeah.
for me to
Yeah.
really do a
Yeah.
CV. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I even need you to teach me how to write CV, because to be frank,
Honestly.
I know Sabi. I know how to type. I know how to do this. I know how to put all my qualities right. But I know there are some things that if I should add, it will
Yeah.
make it
It will
even better.
stand out.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think we'll wrap up with this, because if you leave us, we'll
We
continue.
just
Wrap up
continue.
with
This
this.
conversation is
Somebody that
sweet.
is comfortable, working
Okay.
already, good money, good pay. And anything could just happen and boom, that job goes away. And then you're like, oh, more back to the job space, job seeking space. In 1 minute or less than 1 minute, please share what one message to such a person.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
What
No,
happened?
share. There's a very beautiful feedback from Instagram that I would like to share. But
Okay.
go ahead, answer that question.
All right. In a nutshell, this is what I would say. While you're at your job, you know how they say you should not just go through school and allow the school to go through you. So while you're at your job and getting money, let which one is it now? Let the job go through you. Be be aware of what you're doing, because sometimes the challenge people have, like I said, is articulating what they actually did. And when you're writing your CV, it's not just, oh, I carried cement from Biaba to Cotonou.
My two.
What was the impact of your activity? As you carry the cement from Yaba to Cotonou, what exactly happened for the organization? Did you see that,
Mm.
oh, the customers were so happy and say, oh, okay, now the customers' complaints reduced? Or as you carry that cement from Yaba to Cotonou, the company, when you went to Cotonou, you met new contacts and the company gained 300 more customers. So these are details, because if you have the opportunity, it's going to be easy. But a lot of people, what is hard is, what did I even do? I've worked in this place for 5 years. What have I been doing? So be intentional. If you have a place to write out key milestones that you accomplished in an organization, just find somewhere, be journaling it. Oh,
Yeah,
on this day I was awarded this. Those little things matter. If you have those details, even when they say today, either you're leaving the job or something, an opportunity comes up, all you just need to do is sit down three
yeah.
hours 4 hours and pack them together. So that's
I
what I
love
would
that.
say.
Beautiful
That's
Wow,
what I would
response.
say.
that's
Adrian
lovely.
wants to my killer self. I beg, tell us that beautiful.
Honestly,
I want to hear it.
but somebody say, can we ask questions, please?
Ah,
No,
Okay, please, Scott,
we
go
might
ahead.
we
Type
will
your
pay.
question
Go and pay
quickly,
her.
quickly. Scott, please type your question quickly. We'll take that one. You will just your question one. But while Scott is
okay.
typing his question, let me read this feedback from Timmy Fudge on Instagram. He says, I was really blessed. I got answers to most of my questions already. Then he went on, or she went on to say, I am in my transitioning season, and navigating through this season hasn't been quite easy. But the more steps I take, the more clarity I get. This blessed me in no small way. So thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank
We love
you.
you and we wish you
Thank
well.
you.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
wish
Move
you
to the
well in your
next phase
transition.
Sure.
fantastically.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, Scott, please go ahead with your question quickly so that we can wrap this up. It's been a fantastic one. If you're watching this for the first time, if you're on Your Voice, Your Impact for the first time, you are welcome. And if there is anything we can tell you about our CV, is that we've been on this for 1 year plus. And we've
Yeah.
been showing
Yeah.
up every single Monday for the last 1 year. And this is
Wow.
our plus 1 year counting. And we're not
Wow.
about to stop because we know the importance of sticking to a thing until you get results. Now, this is
Mm.
one of those conversations that is almost like a trigger to say, EJ and Grace, una don't they enter
Let's
on
go
our
more.
next season, because
That's
this
right.
is
Yeah.
it going over, and then we are having people waiting and saying, please let's ask questions and all of that. So we waited for this long. I don't know how many people, babe, she be my podcast student. I know how many people waste that podcast together today. We don't know again. Like, I beg. Coach Jamie, I don't know. So again, we understand it, but this is what we're doing. Part of what we're doing here is to show you that it is possible, especially if you have system and support in place. We are not always, maybe you heard when Grace said it at the beginning of this session. That was not like hi, but she knew that before the end of this session, our spirit to be lifted, and that's exactly what has happened. So we know it is a science and it can be repeated, and we are showing it to you live and direct, no filter. Okay, so question has come. Scott says, my question is, from your experience, Ecom, are you able to add portfolio building with with the CV for people in tech spaces? If you do, what are the things you've noticed that are being left out for? Should I read that
Okay.
question again, or did you
Yes.
get it?
Yes, please. Yeah. I got it. I got
Portfolio
it.
for
Let
tech
me let
people.
me
Okay.
reiterate.
What do you
Yeah.
portfolio for tech people, so to
Yes.
speak?
Like I said, writing CVs, particularly for tech people, sometimes feels like I'm learning coding because lot and lot of jargons, tech. But then I have to. One thing I would say is, of course, there are different areas of tech. By the way, tech is not just coding. I write also. There's digital marketing in tech. There's
Graphics.
graphics design. There are lots of things in tech. So I would say that you should focus on the particular area. Don't try to bring in something for a software engineer into a digital marketer. All right. So if you're building a portfolio as a graphics designer, it's different from building a portfolio as a copywriter, still in tech. It's also different from building a portfolio in coding. And there's really no one size fits all. The most important thing, like I answered in the previous question, is to ensure that your best works are shown. However you want to present it is left to you, but be sure that first of all, different industries inside of tech or different subcategories in tech have their different expectations that you're required to meet. The most important thing for all of them is make your best work stand out. Like, say it. I was listening to somebody recently and he said, the world does not want to hear you. Force them to hear you. By forcing them means whatever platform you're building on right now, social media is your free visa. So rather
Mm,
than just stacking up portfolios somewhere, maybe building a website or something, use your social media to build such a relevant. Just like Kochize said, we've not met before, but social media, the work that I do, and also following her work that she does, I'm like, wow, this is somebody I need to follow. So summary again, focus on the needs, the requirements for that particular subcategory in tech. And when you
in tech.
focus on them, put your best foot out, your best work, give it your best, put your best work out. That is where you get relevance now. And of course, make the most of your social media handles. That's what I'll say.
Fantastic. I think that will answer the follow-up question because he was asking about maybe tools, apps, or software
Yeah,
that helps
yeah.
build CV or resume. Are there any specific ones you can recommend?
Yes, there are, but the challenge with these is some of these tools, like there's standoutcv.com, there is resumebuilder.com, and all of that. Some of these softwares are built for international standards. All right, where you have the pictures, some of the way that the format, the CV is formatted and all. I would usually advise keep it simple. I made a video I'll be posting later on my LinkedIn account today where I said the reason why a lot of people get ghosted is, I'm sure you've heard about the ATS, the applicant tracking system. So this ATS is fed with keywords. Is fed so when you apply for a job, it just scans your resume looking for those keywords. And
Keywords.
some things, like some people write their CVs and they put something like graph, they put pie chart. All of that is not necessary. And sometimes is these
I'll fling
templates
it.
that bring that, like,
I'll
so
fling
so
it.
the ATS, that even when it even gets to a human being to look at it, but the ATS can't detect those things as errors. Putting graph, there's
Mm,
some even sometimes a picture can be detected as an error.
Mm.
So all of those, so just keep it simple. Use your basic Microsoft Word and just type, align it properly. Don't go about the design. Some people they think is the more artistic. No, you're doing yourself a disfavor most of the time. Particularly if you're applying to a job where the competition is high, like 1,000 people applying with you. It's before it gets to a human being, the ATS will scan through it,
yes.
and there are lots of things that will be picked as error. Graph, pie chart. Some people want to put
Pictures.
their skills. They'll say software engineering 70%, graphics
That's the
design
new one I saw. Well, just
45%. Like,
let's leave this conversation.
you don't share
Let's
less.
let's leave this conversation. Here we should end it now
What is
because
it?
because you're
What is
leading me
it?
where I don't want to go to. I saw 100%, I saw 70%, I saw 60%. I say, maybe it's the
Do it
Gen
to
Z type.
yourself.
We are not Gen Zs, so maybe it's Gen Z.
Do
So that's
it
why
to
it's not querying
yourself.
it. Oh.
Please.
But
So
It's
my dear,
template.
simple.
It's
Open
template, not
your
their fault. It's template that caused it. It's
exactly. Open your
and this
Microsoft
person will
Word.
put the
Just
hundred
type it.
percent. And when you come here, when you came here, what is this? What is this?
if not 100%,
0%.
it's
Degree sense.
100%. Abba.
Zero. My
Yes.
dear, let's just
You
close.
have the
Please,
skill or
let's
you
go
don't
home.
have it. Full stop. Please. Thank
My
you.
dear, let's let's
You know
let's
what,
have fun.
guys? You can
Ekobong,
connect
I'm
with
feeling
Ecom.
we will need to bring Ekobong again. I think
Again,
we need
absolutely,
to.
absolutely.
We need to.
Please connect with Ekomobong now. And guess what? She did not tell me to do this one, but I'm going to do it because she has really blessed us today. Her birthday is in 2 days, in 3 days. No,
Ah, yes, on Saturday.
July
This
13th, this
Saturday.
week, Sha.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
please follow her on LinkedIn. That's where she has most power. She's on Instagram, like say she not there. I think she's on Facebook. I can't even find her. Like say she don't shut down. I don't know. But I know she's on LinkedIn. She's powerful on LinkedIn. She has great network. Like she has built a good, strong network and a strong following and a good community on LinkedIn. All right. So follow
Thank
Ekomobong
you.
Offong. You
Thank you.
can see her name on the screen. Ekomobong
Thank you.
Offong on LinkedIn. Connect with her, send her a message, and if you have further questions, you can ask her there. I know for sure that she's going to put out a something for her birthday. Watch out for that and be a part of it. See, if whatever she puts out aligns with you, I am giving you 100% guarantee that you will get value for whatever you are putting out. I can trust her
Thank
with
you.
that. She has
Thank you.
proven to me over, like, I close my eyes and recommend that to anybody. All right.
Thank
So
you.
please
Thank you.
do that. Happy birthday in
Thank you.
advance, my darling.
Thank
You
you
have been
very
such
much.
a blessing. God bless you. And thank you for
Thank you.
honoring this invitation. I know it's the
Thank you,
Lord's doing and
KTJ.
it is marvelous in my sight. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you, KTJ. Thank you
Yeah,
so
she's
much,
on
please.
LinkedIn. She's majorly on LinkedIn. She's on Instagram,
Yeah.
but she's not active on Instagram. So please follow her on LinkedIn. Somebody said July bonds are special. April bonds are special too.
And
What's
please
that?
pay for her services, please. All of
All
you
right.
that
Yes.
like free something. Please help us
Mm,
pay for her services, because
yeah,
it's a way to, put her, to keep her going. Please pay for her
right,
services. Thank you
right.
so much. All
Thank you
right.
Thank
so
you. This
much.
has been
Thank you, Gracie.
amazing.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Ekom.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone who engaged on
Thank you.
LinkedIn, on Instagram, on YouTube. We appreciate you all. God bless you. If you have not
Thank you.
subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We're going to be announcing more stuff soon, but subscribe to YouTube. Follow myself and Gracie on Instagram. I am energetic EJ underscore on Instagram. Grace is Grace So Amazing. One word on Instagram. Follow her. If you want to see her in action, follow her on Facebook. Her name on Facebook is Grace G Sparks
Okay.
G
Edibo.
sparkles. G sparkles.
G Sparkles.
Olivier Lele.
This woman they use this woman I see where they use Facebook like Twitter. She they use Facebook like Twitter per second tweet.
Are you serious?
I know they agree for
You
anybody.
not give
Facebook I
anybody.
did there,
But but
Instagram
but but
I
the
did there.
beautiful
You
thing,
must hear me.
absolutely. But the beautiful thing I like about that our approach on Facebook is, in fact, you don't ginger me. As I see your post again, I say, what is this tomorrow? You have me say, I dey think too now, and I dey learn what's all this. So keep it going, keep it going. You are not called Ginger Mama for nothing. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. This has been fantastic, guys. Next
Okay.
week is going to be Sploofik. We're talking next week. We're talking about building your brand, building your authentic brand using public speaking. And my friend and sister is going to be on the show, Lady Mayowa, all the way from the UAE. So please don't miss it. And the following one, we're having Kenny Wokoye. And the following one, the grand finale for this one, we're having Coach
Kenny.
Chijoke. It's going to be Sploofik. Watch out on our pages and our stories. We'll be giving you all the flyers and telling you down. So don't miss it, though. See you next week, okay? Bye, guys. Love you all. Thank you. See you.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Thank you.